Jorma Vuoksenmaa, we're in the middle of some very weird times, but luckily Bundesliga will be back this weekend. What are you expecting? Will there be some weird outcomes in the upcoming matchups?
Actually, almost the opposite. Uh, I guess, I underline the word guess because these are so extreme circumstances, but I guess that uh, the teams would revert towards their real performance levels because those teams which have lost slightly their form or confidence or whatever, they have now had time to psychologically recover to their normal levels, and the same applies even stronger when it comes to injuries. Obviously, I can't go through all those Bundesliga teams now here in front of a camera, but generally the most injuries have been sorted out now during the long break, and so for these reasons the teams should be more close to the levels they should be performing compared to the normal situation where the self-confidence, form and injury situation of the teams varies widely.
So the schedule is quite tight, but at least it's the same for everybody, more or less. Does that help the best teams as well?
Well, it might help slightly because now, if I remember right, they'll play in Germany one match a week and then a few Tuesday rounds, right? So now even the worst teams have some weak fixtures, and now then they have smaller team squads to pick the players out of. It might be that the smaller sides which are not so accustomed to even that tight playing schedules, they might be suffering slightly compared to the top teams who play in Europe and then are more stressed and fatigued during winter months compared to minor teams. And now, if you keep analyzing your question, the big teams have much better second string players which they can rotate even if some injury problems would raise up. Summa summarum, I think that the current situation favors the big sides, especially because occasionally the minor teams get a psychological edge against the top teams. They want to show up. The public is behind them. Now there is no public. It's not kind of, war hero situation for the minor teams to upset the big ones in front of empty stands. So already now, after the first few minutes of this video, we are going towards a conclusion that the favorites might be slightly better investments, at least away favorites, compared to the normal situation.
So let's continue with the home field advantage. You think it might be drastically less now when there's no crowds at all?
Yes, absolutely. I differ from the others. The betting market builds up from the difference in opinion, and I have believed during my 45-year-old career more on the home advantage than the market and the media and competitive fellow professional bettors. But in my book, the home advantage comes from the crowd. The pressure the crowd puts on the referee to make 50 times marginally or 20 times marginally home team positive decisions, right? So now when the crowd disappears, that biggest reason for home advantage goes out. And now if the evidence from the first few rounds doesn't make me change my opinion, I might be more with the away teams now when the Bundesliga restarts. Because, I repeat, the crowd has disappeared. I don't believe that much for some mysterious atmosphere of the area and rivalry and willingness to defend their own town. That is nonsense for me. The playability of the own pitch and especially how big the pitch is might have a slight edge, but it's not much. And the traveling nowadays in Germany is not an issue. So I don't count a lot on the home advantage now, but at least with Colossus bets, pools betting, I have evidence that in many pools people seem to think home draw away 1x2 in some kind of magical way, that the symbol 1 has something strange effect. So my best guess is, until I'm shown to be wrong, that the away sides are better bets than home sides now when Bundesliga continues, and at least with Colossus bets there the betting public is not as sophisticated as in the fixed odds Asian handicap market.
How about the total goal market? Will there be any more or less goals than on average?
Here again, I hate speculating, and I hate giving betting ideas which are not based on European sports betting consultants' robust research. But what can we do? Because we fortunately have not had coronas earlier, nor that kind of breaks. My theory is that physically, even if the players have trained some condition training alone, and the team trainings have been started 2-3 weeks ago or so, I still believe that the fitness of players is not as good as normally. And that might cause some fatigue towards the end of first rounds in Bundesliga. Secondly, the creative attacking football requires more harmonization, practice, and matches played in short period of time. So I have good reasons to guess that offensive play gets hurt more of this break compared to the defensive play. There is enough to hit the ball and clear the ball, not to build up nice combinations. These reasons might drop slightly downwards the expected number of goals now in the next few games. And as you can hear at the end of this video, one of my bets on the first weekend will be on under, and the other unders might be slightly better mechanical picks compared to mechanical overs.
All right, so I've seen you study the expected goals stats of the season so far a lot. Now that you said that the good teams will be better and worse teams will be worse, or at least everything will be very close to their like real quality numbers.
Yeah, everything gets normalized. More
Yes,
normalized.
everything is normalized. So does this kind of mean that the X goals of the season so far could be used in a way as the new preview of the post-corona season?
Yes, very much so. That is even my general philosophy. Actually, have been 30 years when I sent my agents to watch Finnish low division football and making those mystical markings. So I might be one of the originators of X-goals thinking in a world. And now that my overall philosophy fits perfectly on this post-corona situation, then there are so many question marks. So let's take teams like Werder Bremen or Eintracht Frankfurt. We have both been they have both been good for us because at the start of the season and even later, we at European Sports Betting Consultants and our customers have been slightly negative for those teams, so we have made money so far. But now, when the corona break came, we expect both teams to improve. Both, let's have a look. We have allowed in more goals, which we should have been allowing according to the quality of the scoring chances their opponents have had. But we've not only been unlucky, we have had some injury problems as well, which are mainly in better shape now. So I expect especially Bremen and slightly Frankfurt too to improve. For Bremen it's easier to improve because they have been so bad in the first half of season and on those spring winter games after the Neujahrs break. And here comes in an extra factor. Bremen stays motivated the whole June because even if they improve, they have a big chance to be relegated. And that means a lot because all the mid-season teams have kind of feeling, well, let's forget it, that was the corona season. So Bremen, which I opposed and laid in the start of the season, might be one of the teams I'll bet continuously during the spring. But again, I repeat what I always say in these Colossus Bets videos. The market reacts so fast that keep an eye on the prices which you get on Werder Bremen or how big percentage of the units are on Bremen in the Colossus Bets pools.
How about then Paderborn? Will they fight back and come and stay in the league, or are they as bad as they have looked like?
We will not survive. We are now too deep under the water, and they are a bad team. That being said, quite often it happens that the worst teams are even worse with their points compared to their goal expectancy. It's a mathematical fact and it's partly a psychological fact. So to make a synopsis of all that Paderborn thing is that we knew they're a very bad team, they have performed badly, they have earned even less points than they expected. But that being said, we can't start betting them very aggressively because they are not stupid, the players. They understand that we can't pick 10 points to Mainz it's not realistic. And past Bremen and Düsseldorf and Mainz, we are relegated, which shows up in their motivation. And normally the bad teams play for their public. Now there is no public, so that means that I'm not start betting Baden even if they have been even slightly unlucky, even in addition that they are bad.
So Jorma, you promised us a betting idea for the upcoming weekend. Now to conclude the video, could you reveal it to us?
Yes, and I give important pieces of information of those two teams which are playing in the game. There I made decent bets now on Wednesday lunchtime. The match is the classical Ruhr area derby between Borussia Dortmund and Schalke 04. And in the start of the season, we differed from the media and the betting market by saying that Leipzig might even be slightly better than Borussia Dortmund, or at least a very competitive side, long after Bayern. I have to go sideways for half a minute and of course say something about Bayern, and that they have been strong. We are about in the number of points, goals, allowed goals as expected, but now they do not need to play the European games, so they will be even more playing more levelly all the time, consistently, and so before I return to Dortmund and Schalke, I instruct you not to bet against Bayern now, where we can concentrate of clinching the Bundesliga title to them. And now the challengers Dortmund and Leipzig. Dortmund have been extremely lucky this season. Again, I gain new friends and social media haters when I talk about luck, but I mean especially after their slow start, they have scored even more goals than their expected goals figure shows, and it's something like 15 to 20 too many goals. Actually, Leipzig should have more points than Dortmund if we lived in a fair world, which we do not do. So I am slightly negative towards Dortmund now in post-Corona era. Schalke is an interesting story because we didn't expect that much about Schalke. It was the team without lots of question marks. They have performed badly, even if you compared points to the expected goals. We have not played well. And that is strange, because Wagner is a top coach in my book. He did pretty well with Huddersfield, with very, very narrow material. He has had good teachers, to say so, and he is an intelligent man. So I have all reasons to believe that Schalke should improve. I can't find any good reason why they have been so bad. But now, when we play a Ruhr area derby without public, without no traveling fatigue just around the corner to Dortmund, and they have the extra motivation for the local derby, which is pure plus because Dortmund have motivation anyway for the European spots and a slight chance for championship still. All of these reasons, there are many minor factors which talk towards Schalke 04. Even if, as I said, I do not get the blindfold of the question marks the team have. But we get so good prices. I placed my bet on Asian handicap on Schalke now about 1 o'clock Finnish time on Wednesday. And I got plus goal and a quarter on Schalke Asian handicap with price 1.74. And I actually even backed under 3 goals and a quarter Asian total, and I got 159 on that bet. And the reasons I already explained, general reasons in the beginning of the video, and then when I talk about Dortmund, now all those lucky goals Dortmund have scored make the market to believe that Dortmund would be free scoring against pretty competitive Schalke as well. So I think the market doesn't understand completely the situation. And here's the best tips. The global Asian handicap and fixed odds market in general is not stupid, because the big syndicates with millions of euros and dollars and Hong Kong dollars affect the prices. In Colossus bets, the biggest part of market operators are people like you and me, and kind of, normal people who love football and pools betting. So the most good betting ideas, we can make nice profits by betting Asian handicaps. We get even better value with Colossus bets. Of course, if you bet those pick 8 carryovers, you bear the risk that you get in, like in that case, draw and away with Schalke. You have something like, what it might be, in round figures 40% chance to hit. But even if you hit with draw Schalke, you have 7 other matches to get the underestimated scorelines to come in, right? So you increase your risk by betting pools betting and Colossus, but you get better value and you can win big with a small risk, monetary risk and small investment. So good luck, and let's have a very intensive and exciting end of the Bundesliga.